McKenna. Great to see you. How's the cross going this season?
It's going well. We made it to finals.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. What brings you in today?
Well, my right ear's been bugging me a lot. I hear ringing, and it sounds clogged, and it's really painful.
Gotcha. And it's just your right ear that's been bothering you?
Yeah, my left one doesn't give me much trouble.
Okay. Have you noticed any difficulty with your hearing? Maybe your coach when you're playing your games, or the referee when he blows his whistle?
Yeah, actually, when the ref blows his whistle, I don't always stop. And then when my mom's driving in the car, I don't always hear her. And so she gets a little mad at me sometimes.
Well, that sounds like you have noticed some difficulty with your hearing.
Yeah, but I do have allergies and colds all the time, so it kind of just feels like that, like I never got over my last cold.
I do know you have a pretty extensive history of ear infections and colds, and you said you've been hearing some ringing in your ear as well?
Yeah, it's actually pretty annoying.
Yeah. Have you noticed any pain in your ears or any discharge from your ears?
Pain, yes, but discharge, no. That's kind of gross.
Well, what about dizziness? Have you been experiencing any of that?
No dizziness.
Okay. And what about family history? Do you know if either of your parents' sides of the family have a history of that kind of thing?
No, not that I know of, no.
Okay. Well, back to the difficulty you've been having with the hearing in your right ear. Sometimes would you say that it's harder to hear male or female voices typically?
Probably male voices, but if anybody's on my right-hand side, kind of like you now, it's hard to hear.
Gotcha. And what about cotton swabs? Do you use those often?
Yeah, I know you've told me not to, but my ear just gets really itchy, and that's the only way to relieve it, it seems like. So I actually use them a few times a day.
Oh, wow. Well, McKenna, Q-tips actually push your earwax into your eardrum, which, I know it feels good, but typically that pushes back and back until it gets pretty full, which can actually lead to some problems. And I know that it gets really itchy in there, especially with allergies and colds, but it's really best not to use those. And if you find yourself really needing some relief, a couple of drops of hydrogen peroxide can do the trick much better.
Okay, yeah.
But last question, are there situations which you feel it's more difficult for you to follow a conversation, maybe like a noisy restaurant, in the car, at a movie theater?
Yeah, I would say if I'm in a place that has a lot of background noise or it's really noisy, it's definitely harder to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to do a visual examination of your ears really quickly, and then we're going to take you back for your hearing screening.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, McKenna, after checking out your ears, I found that your right ear had a lot of earwax pushed against your eardrum, probably from those Q-tips. First and foremost, we're going to remove this blockage, and then we're going to send you back to perform your hearing evaluation.
Okay, is it going to hurt?
No, it shouldn't hurt. In fact, it'll help with the irritation quite a bit.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, McKenna, after speaking with you, looking in your ears, and seeing your hearing evaluation, it appears that you have a moderate to moderately severe conductive hearing loss. This explains why it can be hard for you to hear sometimes while getting along at other times. I know this can be kind of scary and maybe sounds a little scary right now, but the good news is that this type of loss is most helped by devices such as hearing aids.
Oh wow, so wait, is this because I've been sick so much?
So it would appear that your hearing loss is a result of your many ear infections. This is pretty common in a lot of cases and can lead to hearing loss, especially with ear infections that are severe and go untreated.
Okay, so I guess my ears weren't just stuffed up, but you said that the hearing aid will completely fix it. So
hearing aids can't restore normal hearing, but they can help to amplify those sounds that you have a hard time hearing.
Okay.
And the great news is you're an excellent candidate for these kinds of hearing aids.
So am I still going to be able to play lacrosse? Are people going to be able to see it?
Oh, absolutely. You can do everything you're doing now, lacrosse, school, everything. There are several different types of hearing aids, and I'm going to recommend that you be fitted with a hearing aid that fits inside your ear canal. This is the best type for your type of loss, and it will not be very visible to other people, especially if you're wearing your hair down.
Okay, well this is definitely something I'm going to have to get used to, but I'm glad you know what's going on in there.
Yeah, and we can also talk about some more really interesting devices that you can use when you're not wearing your hearing aids, such as when you're sleeping, if you're in the shower, especially when you're sleeping, if you're a deep sleeper and you're worried about hearing your alarm clock, we have a lot of really cool new technologies that allow you to be woken up with vibrations or even with lights.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm a really deep sleeper.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, this is And in the canal hearing aid right here.
That's good.
This is going to be the best option for you because it helps people who have your type of hearing loss. That means that the hearing in your right ear can pick up sounds that are said to you a little bit louder than average. So we're going to program the hearing aids for different types of situations that you may be in. For example, your lacrosse games are going to have a different program as church, which will have a different program than if you go to the movies, and this will all be on a toggle switch, which you can adjust.
Okay.
Yeah, so right here is the microphone, and it picks up sound waves and converts them into electrical energy. And right here is the battery compartment, where it supplies power to the hearing aid, and right here is the amplifier, where it boosts the amount of electrical energy.
Okay, so is this the part that's going to go inside my ear hole?
Yes, that's the part, and it's going to look something like this.
Okay.
Right, so you'll only be able to see a little bit of it from the outside.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to now talk about how to take care of your hearing aid. So a couple of things we're going to do to make sure that we keep it safe and away from any harm is to keep it dry, away from moisture, and to be careful not to drop it on hard surfaces. And a biggie would be keeping away from young children because it has batteries inside of it, and especially dogs, because if your dogs are anything like mine, they see something like this and they're going to want to chew it up.
Okay, so keep it away from my little brother, away from my dogs, but so how do I clean it?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're definitely going to want to clean it because there will be wax that will build up, and that's completely normal.
Okay.
And it's best not to use cotton swabs in your ear to help clean it out, but you can take a dry cloth and wipe away any debris, and you can also use a bulb dryer at night to help keep it dry and ready to use the next day.
Okay, that sounds good. So you were talking about the battery, so can I have a few tips about that because I feel like I'm going to mess up the battery?
Absolutely. So you can check the battery life to see how it's doing. If you feel like the hearing aid is being kind of weak or the battery might be needing to be replaced, your hearing aid will come with a lot of cool gadgets, and one of them is a battery tester. So it'll kind of tell you if the battery needs to be changed or how much life it typically has left. And something I would definitely recommend is that at night, when you're sleeping or when you're in the shower, if you're not using the hearing aid, try to keep the battery door open because that'll typically extend the battery life of the hearing aid.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the last thing I'll say is to keep your hearing aid in your ear as much as possible. Even at first, I know it might be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Loud sounds might be a little bit jarring at first, and that's totally normal. It'll take about 2 weeks to get adjusted. But do try to wear it at all times when you're not sleeping, swimming, afraid you'll lose it, showering, that kind of thing. The more it's in your ear, the more your brain will be trained to get used to how it feels and how it works. And it'll be more effective if your body's used to how it feels and functions.
Okay, so once I get used to it, I'm sure I'll love it, and I'm sure my mom will be happy because she'll finally not be mad at me for not hearing everything she says. So I'm glad you know what's going on in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a hearing aid checklist for you right here and a daily hearing aid log that I want you to make notes on for the next time you come back and visit me. If you have any questions, you can write them down on here and we can talk about them when you come back, but you can always call me if you have questions until then.
Okay, that sounds good, Dr. Moody. You're so good seeing you.
It's great to see you too.
I'll let my parents know you say hi.
Okay, sounds great. Bye.
Bye.